Hello, family, and welcome back. So let's get into this, because while certain people were busy cutting ribbons, unveiling plaques no one asked for, and playing charity dress-up for the cameras, Prince Harry was outside doing actual service. Real service. Not the cosplay version, not the stand there and smile while aides do the work version. I'm talking boots on the ground, sleeves rolled up, show me how this saves lives type of service. Now, the UK media will either ignore this entirely, which is their favorite move, or twist themselves into a pretzel trying to downplay it. But unfortunately for them, the photos exist, the receipts are loud, and the firefighters themselves said what they said. So let's talk about it. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, spent time with local Santa Barbara fire stations alongside John Mills, the co-founder and CEO of Watch Duty. And before the usual suspects start screaming, PR stunt, let's be very clear about what Watch Duty actually is. This is not a vanity charity. This is not a vague foundation with inspirational buzzwords and no outcomes. Watch Duty is a real-time wildfire intelligence platform that firefighters and emergency responders actively rely on. When seconds matter, and in wildfires, seconds absolutely matter, this app provides clear, accurate, live updates that can literally mean the difference between life and death. Firefighters themselves have said Watch Duty plays a huge role in their work. Huge. Not nice to have, not cute initiative, huge. And Archewell Philanthropies were early supporters of this platform during the devastating LA fires in 2025. Early supporters. Now, look at the images, and really look, not with tabloid goggles on, but with common sense. Harry isn't strutting, he's not mugging for the camera, he's listening. Arms crossed, focused, leaning in, asking questions, studying the drones, looking at the thermal search and rescue equipment like someone who actually wants to understand how it works. This matters because people who performative charity don't ask detailed questions. They don't hang around fire stations. They don't sit quietly while firefighters explain their tools. They show up, shake hands, pose, and leave. Harry stayed. And that difference, it shows. And here's what really sends the critics into a spiral. This kind of work aligns perfectly with who Harry has always been. Disaster response, veterans, emergency services, community resilience. This isn't new. This isn't him finding a role post-royals. This was always his lane. The institution just never knew what to do with a prince he preferred impact over hierarchy. Let's be honest, the monarchy likes its service sanitized, controlled, scripted, predictable. Harry has always been too real for that, too hands-on, too emotionally engaged, too willing to step outside the lines. And instead of embracing that, they tried to box him in, tried to dull him down, tried to make him fit a mold that never suited him. And when he refused, suddenly he was difficult, unmanageable, a problem.
Funny how once he left that system, the problem started solving problems instead. Now compare this to what we're constantly shown back in the UK. Endless coverage of who wore what, who sat where, who didn't curtsy hard enough, piano playing scandals, Christmas concerts staged like Hallmark movies, charity events that are more about optics than outcomes. And don't get me wrong, awareness matters, but awareness without action is just vibes. Harry's not doing vibes. He's doing infrastructure. He's doing technology. He's doing support systems that firefighters depend on when entire neighborhoods are at risk. And the UK media hates that because it completely destroys the narrative they've spent years trying to sell, that he's lazy, irrelevant, lost, or somehow floundering without the firm. Irrelevant where exactly? Because he looks pretty relevant standing next to first responders who are explaining how thermal drones locate people trapped in fire zones. He looks pretty relevant partnering with an app that's become essential to wildfire response. He looks pretty relevant when firefighters themselves are publicly saying, this plays a huge role in our work. And here's the thing the haters never want to acknowledge. Firefighters do not do flattery. These are people who run toward danger while everyone else runs away. If they say something matters, it matters. They don't care about royal titles. They don't care about palace politics. They care about tools that work. Period. Let's also talk about Archewell for a second, because it's always dismissed as just another foundation by people who clearly don't read beyond headlines. Archewell doesn't scatter donations for clout. They choose targeted partnerships, early support, long-term engagement. They fund things that are practical, scalable, and community-driven. That's why you see them involved in disaster response, digital safety, mental health, and now wildfire intelligence. This isn't random, it's strategic, and that terrifies people who prefer symbolism over substance. Also, and I need everyone to clock this, Harry didn't need to do this publicly. Watch duty didn't need a royal adjacent name to function. Firefighters already use it. This wasn't about launching something new. This was about standing with people who are already doing the work and saying, "We see you. We support you. How can we help?" That's leadership. Quiet, effective, collaborative leadership. The kind that doesn't scream, "Look at me," but still leaves an impact long after the cameras are gone. Meanwhile, the same commentators who swear Harry is obsessed with attention are strangely silent when he's not chasing it. Almost like the narrative only works when they crop out reality. And let's be real, if this were anyone else, the coverage would be glowing. Hands-on humanitarian, modern leadership, bridging technology and community safety. But because it's Harry, because he dared to leave, dared to protect his family, dared to speak about trauma, suddenly nothing he does is ever enough. Or it's too much, or it's suspicious, or it's wrong somehow. The goalposts move faster than wildfire smoke. But here's the part I love most. Harry doesn't seem bothered. At all. He's not clapping back, he's not issuing statements, he's not begging for approval, he's just doing the work. And that might be the most threatening thing of all. Because history has a funny way of sorting people out. Years from now, when people look back, they're not going to remember who played the piano on Christmas television. They're going to remember who showed up when communities were burning, who supported first responders, who invested in tools that saved lives. And that's why this moment matters. Not because it's flashy, not because it's dramatic, but because it's real. And real service doesn't need permission from tabloids or palaces. So to everyone still clinging to the fantasy that Harry lost everything when he left, please. He lost access to balconies and gained the freedom to make a difference. He lost performative duty and gained purposeful service. He lost protection from criticism and gained alignment with his values. And honestly, that looks like a win to me. So yes, Harry was outside doing real service, while others were inside polishing optics, while commentators were recycling tired talking points, while critics were refreshing comment sections. And the firefighters? They were doing their jobs, with better tools, better information, and support from people who actually care. That's the story. That's the truth. And no amount of media spin can put that fire out. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.